Hey guys, it's Goyer from Eamon14, and I'm finally back today on YouTube, and I'm making a video today for the new players of Legend of Mushroom. And today I'm going to go ahead and use my main account because on the other account that I've made for this progress video, I am not 100% ready to show you some of the things that I would like to cover in the event that you're grinding really hard and you surpass the information in this video, and I don't have some kind of visual reference that I can use to help you along your journey, perhaps before I can make the second video in this series where I will use the other account on the other server. So just kind of bear with me on my main account this time while I get everything prepared over there, and I can use that account to join you guys on your new journey on Legend of Mushroom. So the first thing that I want to address is the lamp filters here. You're going to use this auto gear icon, and you do not want to really ever use filter 1 and 2. You want to make sure that as you're leveling your lamp, you are using the number of lamps used multiplier. That's very important. But I would not use any of these filters. Even in the future, they're just not going to be very useful because you'll be making gear sets for all three of your different classes. So you can be safe there and just ignore filter 1, filter 2, but make sure that you're using the lamps used multiplier here. The second thing that I would like to talk about in terms of your lamps and your gear is what stats you will want to be looking for. So if you notice here, I'm using a lot of crit rate, I'm using a lot of counter, and this here, I am playing a warrior. This here is the ideal gear stat that you will want to be looking for if you're playing a warrior. But as you can see here, I'm still using either crit rate or counter strike, and as long as you have one or the other, it's pretty good. But early on, I would not really even focus on your percentage value stats, like your crit rate percentage, your skill rate or skill crit percentage, like you see here. Like if you're using purple gear or red gear, these kind of like lower gear qualities, you want to focus on your gear quality upgrade, right? So going from purple to orange or from orange to red, it's more important that you get your base stats because you're not really far enough along in the evolve for your percentages to even matter. And another thing is that the percentage rates are just so low that it's not really going to help you. So on this piece of gear, you're looking at 6.42% crit. That's really nice on the gold gear. But if you're working with purple gear, it's going to be less, maybe barely 1% crit rate, and it's just not worth saving a piece of gear like that and ignoring your HP, attack, and defense boosts that you will be getting. So prioritize your base stats and your quality changes very early on in the game. For your archer, you are looking for combo and crit rate. So like I said before with the warrior, pretty much either one is useful. There's some just crit rate gear here. There's some just combo gear. Ideally, you want both, but early on again, it's not going to really matter that much. This is just what you're looking for whenever you get close to your immortal gear, your pink gear, or maybe even your red gear if you want to be very focused on your percentage value stats. Lastly, you want skill crit and evasion primarily for your mage, but you can also go with your stun stat as well, but skill crit and evasion is probably going to be peak for you. So I will show statues really quick. Now this one here is for your warrior. you'll want 3 global counter damage, you'll want 1 global HP, and 1 global defense. Now, if you're an archer, you don't have to worry about that. You can go, all 5 of your slots can be global combo damage. And I'm messing around with some personal sets here, so I can't show you that directly, but use your prey option at the bottom center and just run that as much as you can until you have 5 global combo, and you will be in the money. As for the mage, you can pretty much do the same. You can go for 5 skill damage instead of 5 combo for the archer, and you can have a lot of success doing that, especially early in the game. This information is just going to pretty much catapult you through the early stage of the game, which is part of my intent for making this video for you. But anyway, along the way, you will still primarily clutch on these gear stats, these prayer statue sets, and you will be okay. You will just be having a head start on the basis of watching this video. For your relics, now it's highly likely that you probably only have green, blue, and purple, right? Maybe only green and blue. And so the only thing you need to worry about early on, this ties into what I mentioned about the gear percentage stats. So since you're not going to get a lot of combo, for example, or a lot of counter, or a lot of skill crit because your gear quality is low, you will want to use the appropriate masks, the Arrow King mask for your archer, the Ironclad mask for your warrior, and the Demon's mask for your mage. You can also use the Priest mask if you feel like evasion is going to help you survive, but I'm fairly confident that if you utilize the information in this video, you are going to not have really any big issues, at least up to level 70, where I would recommend switching to the archer for story mode so it doesn't halt your progress. The mage and the warrior have more difficulty in your story missions than the archer. The second one that you want to focus on is the Thundercaller Kite. Now, this relic here is pretty much good for everybody. So there's really no way that you can go wrong, and when you upgrade it, it will increase the percentage damage dealt. So it's arguably probably one of the best relics in the game because it actually scales. If you are to upgrade your Arrow King mask, for an example, it does not increase the combo rate. That is a flat 10% percentage, and so it's only worth upgrading for your increase in base stats. Just like this here, it will not increase the combo rate ever. If you have your purple slot, you can also use the magic box. I prefer this because the deer pals are very good, and the cat pal is also pretty good early on, so I would recommend the magic box. But if you don't get it, you know, maybe you can use, I would say, maybe the cactus, maybe the blessed dew, and that's really about it. You can use cactus as a pal and get some use out of that, but this is the one that you really want to look for in the early game. And it works just like the Thundercaller Kite. When you upgrade it, you don't only get the base stat bonuses, but the overall damage increase will also increase, and that is exclusive to your blue and your purple relic slots. If you happen to have your yellow slot available, you want to use the immunity book or the beast hide book to help you go through the story faster, get more lamps, and level up as quick as possible. So for your back accessories, if you happen to be accessing your feathers at any point, just make sure that you are leveling these like 1 to 11 for base attack, and then you'll switch to the base HP. You'll go 1 to 11. Then you switch to the base defense 1 to 11, and then you go 11 to 21. You upgrade it in sets of 10, because there is a threshold for your base stat percentages, and that is arguably the most cost-effective way to get your stat percentage values off of your back accessories, if you have access to it. And for your souls, you want to be focusing the different souls of your class. So if your server is super new, you're not going to have to worry about this, but we will use it as a light reference material. Just make sure that you are focusing the souls of your class. So if you're an archer, you want to focus your combo damage. If you're a warrior, you want to focus your counter damage. And if you are a mage, you just want to focus your global attack, because there is no skill damage soul early in the game. You will access that when you access fusions such as this pink soul here. Now, for rush events, I want to mention one thing. It's really only worth saving for rush events if there is hammers involved in the rewards right here, these divine hammers. If it's a 2-day or a 3-day rush event, I would use your own discretion with your resources and see if it's even worth saving for you. Maybe your server is a little less competitive than mine, but mine is pretty much crazy. So even if I was to save, I don't have a very good chance of getting top 20 unless I spend money. And so I don't even bother saving, right? Even on one that does give hammers. But earlier on, and especially if you're on a server that is cheaper, I would focus saving at a certain point for the rush events that give divine hammers. And you can always see the rush event schedule on the Legend of Mushroom main Discord. And you can also join my Discord, and myself and others will be able to help you navigate which rush events are most important to save for if you are not hyper-focused on any of the rush shop mounts, which should be part of your long game. I wouldn't try to push these unless, you know, you're a whale or you're on a server that isn't particularly expensive, and maybe it's a little bit easier to get a higher rank, but for me it's not, right? It's money only. So like I said earlier, when you reach level 70, okay, you will want to use the cross. You will go archer, so you'll start with your Shroomy. You will go to your adventurer, and you want to switch. You can go mage until around level 70, okay? So it's actually the easiest if you go Shroomy, adventurer, down to mage, healer, and then once you get to 70, up at the top center, you can see there that the Chronomancer evolve is at level 70. At this point, you will want to switch to your crossbow, because you are going to get a lot of very good passives that will allow you to just start tearing through content. You will not want to go crossbow earlier, because you see that you got some good passives there, but if you compare it here to the mage, the healer, you're getting active skill energy regen that will be able to synergize with the Hydro Sprite Pal that I will show you in a minute. You're getting attack and you're getting skill crit, so you're pretty well strong early on. The skills are going to do a lot of damage. You won't have to wait much for cooldowns. But when you get to 70, I recommend going to the crossbow, because you are going to start doing a lot of damage, especially if you use the 5 combo damage statue and you have some gear with combo percentage. Now, for skills and pals that you want to focus on, I made a little bit of a set here that I think would be extremely useful early on. So this is going to give you some continuous AoE damage. The Pineapple Plunge. The Durian Bomb is going to do similar to the Pineapple Plunge, you are going to get some good AoE damage. But in story mode, you are also going to slow your targets down quite a bit. And that will allow you to survive longer in general and get more damage off. You also want to use the Baddie Trace. It does quite a lot of damage, especially without being leveled up. So if you see here, mine is level 82. It does just about 5,000 AoE damage over the 5-second duration. And Durian Bomb here is, a higher quality, but is only doing 1,200% AoE damage. And it's only for 3 Durians, so you're looking at 3,600 AoE damage, and you're looking at a longer cooldown, shown at the bottom left. So this will be really good for your ruined city keys that you get your relic shards from. Easy Breezy is just like a favorite skill of mine. I actually really like this skill just across the board. It reduces the attack of your targets, and it's just very useful against certain bosses that are giving you trouble. It does an okay amount of damage, and it has a fair amount of cooldown, so you won't be waiting forever to use it. It will help you survive longer, just like the Durian Bomb. And the Shroom Shield, just in case you get in some trouble. Maybe you're in a point where you need the extra shield to help you clutch on a certain boss. This will definitely help you out. If you feel like you don't need the Shroom Shield, then I would use something like something that can imprison them, can just keep them away longer. Or maybe if you wanted to get some additional skill damage or something like that, I really wouldn't push for that. I think I would mostly keep it between Easy Breezy and something that can trap them and keep them away from you as long as possible. And for your pals, to wrap this up here, I made another set for you. And this is primarily if you are starting as the Mage Evolve. And so you will really profit off of any of the cat pals, which is why you'll use the Magic Box relic that I mentioned before. And you will really profit off of the Hydro Sprite pal because it is going to synergize with your active skill energy regen. And in general, this is going to give you a little bit less time of waiting on your skill cooldowns so that you can do damage, you can weaken your enemy, you can shield yourself, you can slow your enemy. It's just going to help you do what you want to do faster. Now, we also have, let me use this. I believe this is still a free pal that Legend of Mushroom gives you. If they have changed this since I started my account, then please let me know in the comments, and I will revise this as soon as possible. I'll give you guys another option. But I just made my account just a few days ago, and it seems like they are still giving this one out when you start the game for free. I would use this for the skill crit rate 8% chance. Now for the Piercer Beast, this is going to help you a lot, and you can use any of the versions of this pal. So for example, I have this Piercer Beast here, and it is an orange. Well, there's a yellow one here, Pokong. And yeah, it's only 25%. But if you do not have the Piercer Beast, it's going to fill the slot as best as you can. Just make sure that you are not trying to stack the same pals. So if I was to swap out the Fortune Dragon here, and I was to use the Pokong with the Piercer Beast, I would only get the effects of the highest quality version of that pal. So I would only get 40% skill damage. I would not get 65, adding the 25% from Pokong to the 40% on the Piercer Beast. So make sure that you are not trying to stack pals. It's not going to do very good for you. The game does not really allow it. That's why we use the Treasure Dragon to get some of the skill crit chance. If you remember near the start of the video with my gear stat percentage explanation, you will not get a lot of skill crit off of your gear early. So 8% is going to be massive for you. I would highly suggest not sleeping on this pal early. Finally, you can use the Divine Deer to get more damage with your magic box and to help you stay alive longer. Or, if you want to slow your enemies even more, you can always use your highest variant of the Snail Pal. Honestly, I am a big fan of the Deer, and so I would recommend the Deer, especially because you're using your magic box relic. So if you are starting the game as a mage, you are using the Cat Pal and the Deer Pal and receiving your bonus damage from your magic box. And if you guys have any other questions regarding some of this, I do cover some other things that extend off of these ideas in 2 of my separate videos that I will leave with you for now while I work on the account and I work towards the next video on our new Legend of Mushroom journey, right? And these videos are titled Sleeper 101 and the Combat Triangle. I believe that these videos will be very helpful with you building your character in the event that you are grinding super hard, and perhaps I have things kind of in my way that are preventing me from doing the same. And I would love nothing more than to be able to continue to help you. So please join my Discord. I will link it in the description. And I also have a few other videos that I really recommend that you check out, including sneak peeks, that will help you along the way while I do my best to catch up to some of you heavy grinders. As for that, I think that that's all that I have for you guys today. I hope that this really helps you navigate the mini UI and system and different things that you will be upgrading in the game. The tech park, as a last thing, I almost forgot, for your tech park, I would mostly just max everything like I've done here. And by the next video, I will break this down more on what to prioritize and how to optimize your stone or mineral in the moment. So guys, now that's all that I have for you. And I appreciate you guys watching. I hope that this helps a lot. I will do my very best to get to the extension of this video series as soon as possible. And thanks again, guys. I'll see you next time.